Good morning, Cherry. I am just getting myself situated here on the computer so that I can see what's going on. I'm zoomed out quite a ways. Good morning, Michelle. I'm zoomed out quite a ways because I have a larger, I'm going to do a 12 by 12 scrapbook page layout, and it seems like if I'm zoomed in too close, it doesn't work very well, but I'll probably drop the arm down when I color. And today I'm using this adorable new set from Kraftin Kimmie. I just love this set so much. I am so happy that you're joining me. I hope you guys have been having a lot of fun with the International Scrapbooking Weekend. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to participate as much as I'd like. I was super busy helping out with a convention, a Lions Club convention this entire weekend. Well, really from Thursday through last night late. And so I'm just going to warn you ahead of time that I might be a little bit scattered today. I had to throw my projects together quicker than I had hoped, and I really was struck with indecision. Hello, Miss Kim. I struggled so much with indecision with my projects for this because this stamp set is so amazing. I had so many ideas. I really struggled with narrowing down what I could realistically do today with you guys. So again, bear with me. I'm a little bit scattered, but I think we're going to have a lot of fun, and there just isn't any way you can't have fun with this stamp set, this brand new stamp set. So again, we're going to do a 6 by 8 layout. We're going to do a 12 by 12 layout, and then I'll just probably show you a couple of other things I have in the works. We won't do them, but we will color, and I've already pre-colored some images just so that I don't have to fussy cut when we're all on screen together. So anyway, let's see. I'm going to color this little beaver guy first because he's one of the ones I haven't colored yet and I have cut out. I'm going to try to shrink in so that we can see the coloring better. I've pre-colored who I like to call Al. This is Al and this is Kimmie because they are my Canadian friends. I wish I could put a beard on Al because he usually has a beard. But that's Al and Kimmie. And yeah, I know I have so many started, Kim, when I was trying to narrow it down, that I will have success in actually finishing everything. Here's the cute little maple syrup. Let's see, where is the moose? And here is the adorable moose. So I've gotten all those colored up except for the beaver, and we'll get him finished. I'm too funny. Al is watching. Oh, that's hilarious. Al says, where's my beard? See, I'm going to have to figure out how to draw a beard on you, Al, but it won't be, it's going to have to be a shorter, tighter little beard here. I'm going to figure that out. That's my challenge. Okay, well, let me see if I can drop this down so that we can color a little bit. I'm going to start with, like I said, the beaver. And if you all were just on with Alexis, I'm just like, I love the colors she used, and I figured you might still have them out on your desk. So I'm going to use the same colors Alexis did. And like I said, you may already have them out on your desk. So for the beaver, I'm going to use, thank you, Kim, for linking that. I'm going to use E13, 15, 17, 9, 18, and W5. So let's see. I'm going to put this down. Excuse my chicken scratch here. I'll just sit this down. You can see I was messing around with the maple leaf stamp, which we're going to play with a lot, and that's really fun also. I wonder, we'll color the beaver. We'll play around with the maple leaf stamp. And, oh my gosh, yes, the lumberjack guy. Oh my gosh, that's a great idea. That's what's so fun about using stamp sets by the same artist is often you can coordinate them. I know this moose is in a Christmas set, These little folks here are in like Lumberjack and Jill, S'mores Fun, some other ones. So hi, Patty. Thank you so much for joining. All right. I gotta stop and breathe for a sec so I can pull my Copics. Let's see here. And they're all in a great big giant pile because I didn't have time to pull them last night. So again, please bear with me. Ignore the lady behind the curtain. 35. I am going to tell you that for stamping the maple leaf, I have a black for one of the images, and then we're going to color it in with like reds and oranges and greens. Cutting off the heads. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. We could, you know, it's like a different kind of paper piecing. So I've pulled Charming Chartreuse, Lucky Limeade, Fresh Fields, Sandy Shores, Marvelous Mocha, Rich Rust, Cool Cantaloupe, Tempting Tangerine, and Morning Marigold. I don't know if I'm going to use all of those, but those are the fall colors I chose for one of my layouts for the inks to stamp the maple leaf in. And I just realized as I was talking, I'm missing something. I don't remember what it is, so bear with me. Let me find my markers. I am looking for my E13, 15, 9, 13, 15, 9, 18, somewhere in here I have an E17. E17 and a W5 or just an N, a darker color for the nose. So let's see here. I'll do W5. Okay, I have the colors for the beaver all here, I think. Yes, all right. Let me get my glasses on. Oh, I gotta drop this down. Forgive me. Hang on a sec here. Let's see if I can get this to work. Let's just see how lucky I am today. I don't know. I can never get my iPhone to zoom in. It might be because I have the phone backwards, but let's see. Let me try one other thing here. Oh my gosh, that's tight. Wow. I may have had a little bit too much coffee today too, in an effort to get myself woken up. So we shall see how we do. Okay, how's that, guys? Can you see it? I'll move. I know I need to move the little beaver up, but let's see if that'll work. Will that work? Close enough, maybe, I hope. I can't get it any closer with my arm on my phone, so let's just see what we can do here. All right, so I'm going to start with the tail, and I believe Alexis used 18 and 15 on the tail. So where's my 18? E18 and E15. Thank you, Alexis, for paving the path for me this morning, because I had not colored him yet, and I wasn't sure what colors I was going to use. So I'm going to start with the E, what am I using? 18. And I'm just coming around mostly the bottom part of his tail, right here. And then I'm going to do the lines, and I'll do them again. Gosh, my hands are so shaky. Caffeine, nerves, not sure, both. Exhaustion. All right, so yeah, I'm just going to kind of bring that up a little bit. Then I'm going to take the E15. It's slowly moving up. Okay, but we got there, it looks like. Oops, wrong end. All right, E15. And then I'm going to fill in the 15. Kim, I'm having a terrible brain blip today. Can you please remind me? I want to call this stamp set Oh Canada. I know that's not what it is. Will you please remind me what the actual true name of this stamp set is, please? So that was E15. Here's E18. So again, I'm just going to come back in. True North, strong and free. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I felt like it had something to do with North, but again, I'm just struggle bussing today. Okay, so I just added back a little more of the E18. Probably have to come in with my gel pen and fix my boo-boo there. And then I'm gonna, actually I want it a little bit darker, so I'm just gonna kind of work around the edges a little bit more. And then I'll just come back over that again with the E15. Looks like Margaret is watching. Good morning. Actually, I think it's afternoon for most of you. For me, it's still morning. I was so proud of myself that I actually converted my time correctly today. Woohoo! So there's the tail. And then we're going to do the beaver body. And I believe Alexa started with an E09, so I'm just referring to Alexis because she was my hero today for saving me with color ideas. I'm going to come in around his little arm. And around the body. I think Alexis, or not Alexis, I got to pop on for a few minutes while I hid in a corner and ate some food the other day at the convention. And I think I saw Melanie do something like this where she kind of gave him a little bit of a definition around his face. So I'm going to try it. I hope to goodness I don't look like he's got a beard, but if he does, we'll just draw it in. He'll have a beard. We'll be fine. So his little fingers are tiny, so I'm just not doing a lot with them. Coming around the eyes a little bit. And the top of the ear. Okay, and I don't want this to set too quickly, so I better grab my next color, which is going to be E17. Oh dear, I keep opening the wrong end. Yeah, the beaver. I think everybody loves the beaver. The moose is actually, oh, I went out of the lines again. The moose is actually my favorite. Well, actually, Kimmie and Al are my favorite, but the moose is my favorite. I like the moose. I'm partial to moose. We see those far more often where I live than beavers. So, okay, and I'm just going back over where I put my lines. And I apologize, my coloring is not fantastic today. My hands are super shaky. So I'm so sorry about that. But I'm not a coloring expert. I just like to color. It's fun for me. I just don't want you guys to feel like you got a terrible experience because I'm so shaky. Okay, then I'm going to take that E09 again. And I'm going to pull up, I'm going to kind of flick up a little bit of color on the beaver. Just a little, and a little bit down. I'm not being very precise. I'm coming back in over the around the arm because I kind of lost my definition there. And then I'm going to come up just a little bit, I mean a little bit. Hopefully my hand isn't going to like shake real bad. And flick in just a tiny bit around the face, just a tad, right? Make that a little darker, make that a little darker, come back around and under. Okay, and then I'm going to grab my E17 again. And he is a cute little guy, I agree. And then I'm just flicking in over the top of what I did with the E09. And again, very carefully, very, 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 very carefully around the face. I'm going to put a little bit more in the hand. I'm going to try to not do much there. I just don't want it to be like a super harsh line. Then I'm going to grab E13 and fill in with the 13. And I'm just kind of using a flicking motion, right? It's just blending it in a little bit. And then I'm going to come up here on the parts of the face that I haven't really done much with. I may have to blend in that a little bit more. We'll see how that happens. Down by his arm. Got to be careful not to color his teeth. Oh my goodness, he's adorable. I love their eyes. That's the part that just cracks me up, is the eyes. So I'm just kind of blending, blending, blending. I might oversaturate it a tad, but I wanted the face to read a little lighter and the belly. So yay, thank you, Miss Alexis, for the color inspiration. I'm going to grab the E18 for the feet. No such luck. Something popped up. Oh gosh, Patty, that would be sweet, wouldn't it? Oh my gosh, I would love that so much. The remote to zoom in. Good Lord. I just need to figure out I think a little bit better setup for I'm going to come in here just a little bit because I kind of lost. This is my E09. I just need to figure out a better setup for doing these lives because I just feel like I'm always fumbling. Oh, he's so cute. Okay, now we're going to put W5 or 7 or any darker gray, brown, black that you have for the nose. I'm going to leave a little dot in the middle, just a tiny dot. You can always add it with a gel pen, but sometimes I just find that if I don't go crazy when I'm coloring, it works out well too to just leave a little bit. Okay, and then the eyes, I think I didn't grab my gel pen, so I'll be super careful. And find a darker black. Just gonna dot in the eyes. Good morning, Margie. I have a layout today using some of my photos from your beautiful place. Okay, then I'm just going to come back around the nose a little bit. I need a stamp, Kimmie, that says Canada is my happy place, because it really is. I love Montana, but I love Canada. Canada's my happy place. When I come and visit all my friends, I'm so happy. Okay, let's see. I think I got those, and I'm going to try to shove these out of the way so that they don't keep getting in my way. I don't know where I'm going to put them. Here we go. Let's see. I do usually like to put a little bit of color around the eyeball. And I don't think beavers have blue eyes. They could. And, well, next time, Kimmie, I'm sure there's lots of things you can add on to this set. I have lots of ideas I could give you. Okay, so I'm just going to come in and, like, we literally need one that says, "Oh, Canada," right? Because I was trying to find my stickers, which I probably won't get to do in the live today because I couldn't find them. All right, so, and then I'll use a gel pen and just put a little tiny dot of white close to the black on the eye. And the teeth are so small. Generally, I use a little bit of like a just a real light, like T0 I'll use. I don't want to make gray teeth, but I do like to just, if I can, a little bit, follow the line. And then I'll come in with my gel pen also, or sorry, my black pen, and just make his mouth a little darker. But there's that adorable little beaver. Isn't he cute? I love him so much. Okay, I said we were going to shift to leaves, but while we're coloring, let's color. Let's do another beaver. Well, actually, we don't need to, because I just cut him out so that we wouldn't have to fussy cut. So let's do Mr. Al. My favorite Mr. Al. I don't remember what colors I used before because I colored this a while ago, but so I'm going to fake it. We're going to figure it out here. I want his hair to have a little bit more orangey red in it, so I'm going to find a color that'll work well for that. Let's see here. This might work, and that might work. I think this will work. We're going to try this. Okay, so I've grabbed, for his hair, Mr. Al's hair, I have Y21, YR27, and E35. I have no idea if this is going to work out. So Al, forgive me if it doesn't work quite well. And actually, the picture I'm using of you has your beard with some gray hair. So we're going to leave that part out. Now you're going to be happy I decided not to put your beard on there, right? Oh, thank you, Patty. And you love his texture. Thank you. Okay, skin tones. I do my typical, let's see, I might grab a YR23 too in case. So skin tones are usually my E000, E00, E11. See if I can find it. I know I'm going to need this one for Kim's hair. E11, E02 for cheeks, and I think I need an E21 and an E04 if I can find them. Here's E21. Okay, maybe I'll stick, well, let me see if I can find my E04. Ah, I found it. Yay! Okay, so I have E04, E21, E11, E00, E000, and E02. So sometimes I use the E50, 51, 53 series. So if you have those, that's a great one. Some people use the E30 series. That's also a good color combo for skin. So I'm going to start out with this. I'm going to first do my E00, and I'm going to come around the hair. And I'm just doing this so that I get, sometimes when you start straight with your E04, which I do often, but today since I'm so shaky, I'm a little worried about doing that. So I'm starting with the E00 just to put a guide, I guess, down for myself. And it also will help if I get a little heavy-handed with the E04, because you can always go darker, but if you start out too dark, it's real hard to get lighter, right? So I started there, and then I'm going to grab my E04, and I'm going to just, it's not going to be a super dark line, I hope. But again, if I shake a little, it's going to end up that way. And I'm just going to frame the face. A little bit on the inside of the ear. Oops, got a little heavy there. That's okay. All right, so then I'm going to come over that with an E11. There we go. That's my next color. And I'm not going to completely touch it, but mostly, right? Just so it doesn't look like he's got a suntan in the fall, because all my photos are fall, and they're from when I visited Alan Kimmie in October of 23, and I was also there in 23 to be at Miss Margie's wonderful mountain retreat with my wonderful Canadian friends. So my photos are all from October of 23. I'm catching up on my scrapbooking. That was E11. And then I'm going to grab E21. Lindsay, faces are your biggest learning curve and bigger areas. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I practiced skin because I love to color people images more than I like to color animal images. And I know a lot of, so I am the opposite of you. If they're teeny tiny animals, I do pretty good. If they're a little bit bigger, it's not as easy for me to get them just right. So this is E21, and I'm just going over where I was with my E11 and a little bit more, right? Just bring it in a little more. And then I'm going to grab my E00 again. Oops, that's O2. I want 00. Maybe no mountains. Yeah. Yeah. Not really mountains, huh? Lake. Okay, so this is E00, and I'm just filling in. Again, I'm going over where my lines were. I got a little bit of darker up there. I got a little boo-boo, but that's okay. Coloring in the ears. I call it a mountain retreat, but it's really the lake retreat. Then I'm going to come in last with E000, and then I may do one more swoop of, definitely got a shadow up there. Might do one more swoop. I told you that's my word with Copics. With the E00. I'm not going to give Mr. Al very rosy cheeks, but I'm going to just dot in a little bit. Oh, I said it somewhere. Here it is. I'm just going to dot in a little bit. I'm not necessarily going to give him too much of a rosy look. And then take my E00 again and just kind of blend that out a little bit. Okay. So we're really close on him. Let's do his arms. Same process. However, with the little tiny arms and neck. Oh, I forgot the neck. So I'm just barely gonna touch under there with the E04. Same here along the sleeve line and a little bit there. Barely. This I really would like the harder, finer tipped Copics for little spots like that. Let's see, so that was E04. E11 is my next. Again, just barely touching under the chin area there. Pulling out a little bit more of the E11, dotting a little bit around here. Pulling out a little bit more, coming under. Okay, and then E21. Carrie's still here. Oh, hi, Carrie. I loved your beautiful tulip pictures. That is on my bucket list, to go to a great big field of tulips when they're all in bloom. Someday I'm going to do that. There's a really big tulip farm in Oregon, which is about 12 hours away from me. My sister doesn't live terribly far from there, but I seem to miss it every year for some reason. It's not a very long time. I got home yesterday in a big rush, so that was E21. Here's E00, and my husband said, "Did you see your one tulip out there?" And I was like, oh my gosh, I actually have a tulip that the deer haven't eaten, because they usually snap them up, before I even get to enjoy them. Sometimes they get them before they even open. And it's so frustrating. And I was like, no, what color is it? And he said, orange. I have orange and pink, bright fuchsia pink, white, and I think a yellow. But again, I don't get to enjoy them very much anytime. Whoops, better color his chin here, or his neck. I don't usually get to enjoy them very much because the deer get them. They're sneaky. They come in when I'm at work, or and because I always am like, well, I don't want to cut them till they bloom, and then I can put them in a jar. Okay, so I'm just kind of fussing around here a little bit. And let me find it. My markers are getting very, very sticky. All right, I think I'm good. I think he's looking so handsome. Let's, I'm going to switch to, well, I don't know what you've got stamped out, so I don't want to mess this all up too much. I'll finish with him, and then we'll move on to Kim. Let's try his hair. And so, again, I don't remember what I used before, but I think your hair is not really that red. Let me look here, Al. It's a little more browny red. We'll see what we get here. So I'm going to start with a YR21. And I'm just going to brush in some color. I love to do hair. So I'm just swooping in some color. I'm going to go with some dark after this, but I'm just kind of mapping out where I want the color to go. And that'll probably stay lighter, but. And then a trick is to turn your paper so that your hand feels more comfortable with where you're going. So that was I don't even remember. What color was that? That's Y21. Now I'm going to take E35. Oh, I don't know. Let's see. I apologize, Al, if your hair turns out funny. Here's E35, and I'm just kind of swooping in some more color. Hair is not perfect, and I think that's why I like to color it, because it's pretty easy. The one thing about hair that gets hard is you start to like overfill the space. Oh, you like tiger lilies. I love tiger lilies as well, Patty, but I am allergic to lilies. They make my throat feel like it's closing up when I'm around them. Okay, there's some more. Okay, I'm leaving a little color, a lighter color in there. And then I'm going to grab YR20, what the heck is this? 7, YR27. And we're going to fill in, let's see if we can get a little bit more of that orangey red color going on. Ooh, I like it. I like it. It's going good. Yeah, I definitely got to try adding a beard. All right, so I've almost overdone this one, like I warned us not to do. But so I'm going to quit because I can still see some variation in there. It's a little different than I did before, see? I like it. Now, the colors in the layout that I'm going to use this one on, I know the maple leaf is typically supposed to be red for Canada, but we're going to go with kind of an orangey color because that's the colors in my photos and it's a fall layout. So we're going to use that. But before we do that, I'm going to color his pants, and he's got blue jeans on. So I'm using the B90 series, 93, 95, 97, maybe, if I can find them. Hold the phone. Aha, 93, 97. Okay, I found two, 93 and 97. And, oh, that's 45, but it might work. Oh, there's 95. Okay. Well, peeps, that's what I found, so that's what we're going with. So I have, but usually it's 91, 93, 95, 97. Sometimes I skip 91. So I'm going to start with 93. I'm not really sure how 45 is going to work into this. I've never tried that before. So I'm going to dot it up here and see if I like it. Oh, that's pretty cool. I can handle that. Let's see how, this is 93. How does 93 and 45 compare? Oh, they're darn close. Okay. All right, so I would typically start with my lighter. Well, actually, I usually go darker to light, but yes, I'm going to go darkest to light. So 97 is my first color. And I'm going to come up under the shirt. You may hear my dog snoring. It seems to be a theme when I'm on a live, but at least she's sleeping and not driving me crazy. Okay. So that was 97. Then 95 is my next color. And I'm just kind of going over where I was. I may not need to use all of the colors. Then I'm going to bring in the 45, which would be the 95 if I had it. And again, just kind of going over, just adding a little layering, right? We're just adding depth. It's so small, we don't have to, you know, work on it too hard. And then my 93, which could be your 91. Just filling it in, leaving a little bit. Okay, then I'm just going to come one more time with the darkest, which is the 97, and bring it in. And I don't know if we'll probably color the moose. I don't know about Miss Kim, because I want to make sure I pay attention to our time. I know you guys have bingo. Did you get your bingo cards? That's so fun and so neat to have some prizes. Okay, there's his jeans. I love them. Bring in just a little bit more here. Okay, and he's got dark shoes in the picture, so I'm going to grab like a T5 and a T7 maybe. We're going to leave his soles white. Oh, whoops, I colored Kim's shoe. Whoopsie. What the heck? Kim, you're going to have a black shoe, whether you like it or not. So this is a T5. You could use an N5, W5. You can keep them white. Like I did here, I gave him fancy white and red shoes with the gray sole. Lindsay's up at 1, bingo's at 2:30. Oh goodness, okay, I better hustle my bustle here. That's okay if you jump on over to where Lindsay is, guys. I might just cut to the chase and show you the layouts after we finish Mr. Owl here. Okay, there's his shoes. All right, and then like I said, I wanted to do kind of a fall colored leaf. So I'm gonna grab maybe an E23. This is an E23. Then I'm going to add to that a little of this E15, just to add in some It is funny to say he's a fall shirt when he's got short sleeves on, but that's okay. And then he just gets let's give him a light green shirt, shall we? Let's give him, this color should work well. So this is a YG63. So I'm going to give him a green shirt. It's not the color of the shirt in his picture, but it goes well with the layout, so we're going to go with it. Boy, she's in full-on snore mode. Okay. And then I'm just going to do tone on tone, right? So I'm just going to come back in, just add a little bit of shading with the same marker color, because that works really well to do it that way. And same with the leaf. Actually, I'll just use this E15 for the leaf and just give it a little bit more color. Okay. Let's see. Let's give him some blue eyes. This is a B21 because I don't know where my other colors are. Okay. I'm going to put a little tiny bit of a pupil in there. Hopefully not make him look too weird. I'll have to use my blender pen to get the skin tone off his teeth. We're going to color the inside of his mouth. This is an R22, and he is done, okay? So I will probably color these again in a separate session, but because I have some already pre-colored, I'm going to work with the layouts that I have. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope Mr. Al likes himself. I probably will cut him out though, because I'm going to do him really quick. And I'm going to cut him out real fast. Because I want to use him on this layout. Well, I said fast, but my hands are shaking too much, so I think we'll stick with, I'll finish this one and post it later. That's what we're gonna do. All right, I need to move my camera back up. So bear with me. Close your eyes if you get motion sick. There's my belly. Let's see here. Let's go this way. That should work pretty well, I think. Let's see what we end up with here. Oh my goodness. He loves it. I'm so glad. Hi, Ellie. I'm glad. He likes it. Hey, Al. He likes it. Okay. So what I did... let's see here. I have this layout. Where did it go? So what I did here, this is one of my layouts that I did the little beaver for. So these are some of my photos from Margie's wonderful place. I think it's called Utterson, right, Margie? Is that what it's called? And I've pre-colored, I stamped the maple leaves in black, and then I colored them in with my Copic. I used initially an R29, but now, and then I picked a different color of paper. So I'm just kind of adding some depth, which I can go in later and do with an R37. Okay, so I just stamped randomly a whole pattern of these. I made my own pattern paper. I did. This one I started for a cover page, right? So that I could put stickers and Canada trips or something like that in there with, you know, the moose. And this is what I was telling you. I have so many stinking ideas. I just couldn't narrow them down. But this would be like a cover page, and I can add in some different colored leaves around the edge. So I stopped there so I could get something done. So let's see, where's my tape? So this piece of paper this is my 6x8 layout. So it's 6 inches wide by 8 inches long, so it fits perfect in those snap albums. And yeah, 6x8. This little pattern strip of paper is 2 3/4 by 8 that I made. Okay. And then I have my photos that I'm just going to layer with some more pattern paper. I'm going to start with this beautiful, beautiful, look at the colors. This again was October of 23 when we were there. DIY pattern paper. Yes, exactly. So, and then let me get this guy on there. I'll clean up my edges. I'm just using temporary tape right now because I want to go back in and maybe redo it here. I like to lay them down to make sure I have them where I want them the first time, and then when I'm good with it, I go in and I use the regular adhesive. So this is one of the most beautiful things we very first saw when we got there. This is the beautiful cabin, mansion I like to call it, our crafty mansion. And so there's that. I hope you guys can see that okay. Do we need me to drop it down? I know the next, let's see if I can drop that down just a hair. Oh, come on. Not much. Maybe a little. Let's try that. Okay. All right, there's that. Okay, then what I planned to do was put this, and I'm just gonna cut that down just a hair with my paper cutter somewhere. So this is about 3 1/4 by 3 by 3 1/4. It's gonna slide in back here so that we have kind of division in there. And then I have this fun white frame that I was trying to decide if I wanted to go wonky with, which I think I will. So again, you can see why I don't put everything down immediately, right? So I'm gonna do this, and I don't have the right tape, but I'm gonna, so there's that, that's kind of in the middle. And this is my first photo up here, so I'm gonna kind of layer it. Okay, then I'm gonna put this one in the middle. Before I do that, so this one here is going to actually kind of slide in there a little bit, I think, because I want to put a sentiment. This is where I was looking for stickers, so I'm not going to probably get that completely finished. And then I'm going to put this on there. It's going to come in just a little bit further than that one. There we go. And this one on the bottom. Okay, so my spacing is a little off, right? So these photos I think are 2.5 wide by 3.25 long. And then where's my little beaver? He's gonna go on here, and the maple bottle is gonna go next to him, I think. I'm either gonna put it there or up here. I'm trying to decide. Maybe up there. And then I'm gonna put a sentiment on here from the set. And it's going to be greetings from Canada. It's going to go right down here at the bottom. And then I'll probably add something in here with stickers with a date, like 2023, or a little flag that says the location and the year, or my happy place, or something like that. Have a damn good day fits really well for this too. It could go up here on this beautiful, or down here. Oh my gosh, look at that. It could stamp right on the photo. But greetings from Canada is gonna go here. I'm gonna finish these, you guys. I'm sorry, and I will post them in the albums. So that's that one using the beaver. Isn't that cute? And the DIY paper. And then the next one that I have is 12 by 12 layout. Oh, Kaylee, you're a good snorer. So I have started with just a big brown piece of paper, a big brown cardstock. Oh gosh, now we're not in frame. We're gonna have to come up a little bit. Hang on, hold the phone. There, I think that works. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this is just a big brown piece of cardstock. And I added another patterned paper here. It's going to be the layer. So I'll tape that down a little bit so that it doesn't move around too much on me. I always like to leave a little border, if I can, on my papers. Okay, there's that. And then I'm gonna add, thank you, what ink did I use to stamp on the photos? Oh, so, you know, I haven't tried it. I used to use like that stays on very carefully and then just let it sit. I don't know if the Wicked Black, I think it works just great. I honestly do. I feel like I've tried it on acetate, but you have to be careful to just let it set for a minute. But I have used the stays on photos. Okay, then I have another layer. And this is another brown layer. So this is a 9 3/4 by 9 3/4 square. This is 11.5, and then the main cardstock is 12. The main panel is 12. So I'm gonna try to kind of get this as level as possible. Again, using temporary adhesive until I get it where I want it. That's the next layer. And then I have this photo of me. I'm gonna build these layers here. This is an orange. I'm trying to pick up all the colors in this paper. This photo of me, this is, I wanted to do a 4x6, but I couldn't shrink it down. So if you were doing this layout on your own, I would recommend a 4x6. This is a 5.5 by 5 photo, which works just fine. But this moose here is at the entrance of one of the other cabins before you get to Miss Margie's. And I thought that that was so perfect to go with the theme, right? And use the moose. So now I've cut up some 3" by 3" pattern papers. and I'm just gonna layer them on there. Again, I took my DIY, do it yourself. Jump scare, didn't realize she was under your table. Oh my goodness, poor kitty. So again, I've pre-stamped this pattern and colored it in. I'm gonna actually, I had made it a little redder than I wanted, so I'm gonna go in and add some of the sort of E37 accents, 39 maybe, around the edge to bring in a little bit more of the darker red, maroony red colors. So that's going down. And actually, it'd be fun to pick different colors that bring in the oranges. So I may redo a different panel to bring in the oranges and a little bit of green and the red, the darker red as well. So I'm just kind of trying to get those lined up as well as I can. These papers are from Echo Park. I've had them in my stash for a very, very long time. My commitment this year was to try to use, I'm still buying, of course, because I can't resist all the great, beautiful new stuff that comes out all the time. But I'm trying to, as I buy new, use up more of my existing stuff. So, all right, let's see. I have, what else do I have here? I'm going to put this one, I think, here. Got to remember what I was doing. I have some different pattern papers here I'm just playing around with to decide what I want here. I think orange over here and polka dots maybe. There we go. So those are, oops, yeah, that's what I had done. Okay. So I've just layered in some different patterns that coordinate, and I'm going to lay this over the top. And then I'm going to have a banner up here, which I didn't get cut yet. I'm so sorry. I just am so terribly disorganized, but you get the idea, right? And it gives you a jumping off point. Then my moose is either going to come down here with a sentiment, or I think I might put him in a different colored circle, put him up here, and I'm going to put some journaling here. I'm going to have a title up here, and I'm going to use the sentiments of, where did I put them? True North, Strong and Free is going on there. And Greetings from Canada, again, is going to go on there. So there's that layout. I'll get that one finished up. But is that moose just like so stinking perfect for this? Like, come on, seriously. I might switch, actually. Let's do this so that he shows up better. Come on, there we go. That's better. Then I can put him here, have the sentiments on there, right? What do you think? Do you like that? I like it. I think it's really, really cute. And again, a banner and sentiments. Sentiment here, banner up here. So there's that layout. And then the last one, well, actually I have two more, but one of the others that I'm doing, and again with the maple leaf, I just have a white cardstock. I have some photos that I have cut, and I'm probably not going to get them in the right spot here, but these are photos, again, from 23 of my beautiful, beautiful, loved friends that we went with on the trip. So I've got, I think they're 3 1/4 inch squares of the ladies with Kimmie. And then I'll measure these. But in the middle here, I'm stamping with the maple leaf all around the edge. And then I'm going to put some journaling and one of the Kimmies in here. So Kimmie's going to go in here, stamping maple leaf around the edges in the colors in the photos, and then some journaling in there. And then down here, probably, I actually thought about putting the little beaver down there and then have a damn good day, because we really did have a really good time. So there's that layout. And then the last one that I was monkeying around with, so more than actually finishing a project with me today, you got to color a little and you get some ideas. The last one is the one that I was working on for Al and Kim. So again, I've got a nice big piece of paper. I've got a white cardstock. This is 12 by 12. The white cardstock is, I believe, 11 by 11. Just to break it up a little bit. This piece of paper here, I'm going to stamp in all of the fall colors with the maple leaf. So the oranges, the greens, the browns, and I could actually do that a little bit real quick here. And then, and then there's this layering piece here. And then I've got Kim and Al. So I'm gonna have all the leaves, which I'll do. Then I've got Mr. Al. And this is Kimmie and Al. They took me to this beautiful park area. And I'm gonna have to scoot that over a little bit. And me and my friend Kimmie. So I was gonna color, I'm gonna do 2 girl images. One's gonna be Kim and one's gonna be me, that we will put on here. But Al, the one I colored, is gonna go here. There's my Al, Mr. Al. And then there's gonna be me and Kimmie over here. So pretend this is Kimmie and me. Where is that? Me and Kimmie. We're gonna have 2 of us with our hair colors. And then we're gonna put the little beaver down here or up here and the maple leaf, and then I'm gonna have a sentiment here. But all the leaves, the maple leaves, are gonna go on here. So I'll do that quick just because that's really fun. So that's the 3rd layout, and then I had like 6 other ones that I had started that I could not make up my mind on, right? So let's just move all this out of the way here. I'm gonna grab the maple leaf stamp. And I'm gonna start with this charming chartreuse. I don't know why I can't say that. I always wanna like slur my words. And just random, very random. Some of it's gonna get covered up, but because I don't know what's gonna get covered up, I just stamp all over, right? Because I just don't know how it's gonna end up, where it's gonna look, what it's gonna look like. Okay, so that's the charming chartreuse. And then I'm gonna grab the next green. Actually, I think I'll go with, this is Cool Cantaloupe. I'm gonna do that one next. Thank you. I know, I love those pictures, Kim. I'm so excited that I'm finally getting them scrapbooked, right? Oops, that one's gonna get covered up for sure because I didn't get a whole stamp on there. So I'm just randomly stamping colors on here, getting it on there. And these are colors that match with the photos. So that's, let's see, let's put one up there. Okay, that is Cool Cantaloupe, which is the perfect fall orange, I think. Then I'm gonna grab the Sandy Shores, cleaning my stamp off on the side. So I'm grabbing Sandy Shores and I'm doing the same thing. I'm just scattering in some leaves. To make them look like they're falling, I'm just, again, turning the stamp every so often. And some of them just really like bunch up, right? All right, then I'm gonna grab the Fresh Fields color. Oops, I had it. I like how this is turning out. This should work really well. And throw in some green, darker green leaves, because there's some of those in there too. I'm really like risking it because I usually use a Misty or a Stampin' platform of some sort while I'm doing this, but... And I still have mocha to put in there. I really like the lighter green in there. Okay, let's grab, I'm gonna put a little bit more, I'll do the rich rust, because that's kind of a cool orangey brown color, and it's not one I use a lot for other reasons. I'll get a hair, there we go. Let's see how that looks. Ooh, that's pretty. Again, I don't know how my pictures are gonna fall on this, so I'm just putting it in, right? Okay, I'm getting crazy. All right, now I'm gonna add a little bit more, I think, orange with the, oh, this might be a little dark, so we'll see. This is the tangerine. Ooh, yeah, that's bright. So we won't put in much of that in there. We'll just put hits of it in there. A little bit. And I'm layering it a little over the top of some of the other ones, because that's what leaves do. They don't follow the rules. They do however they want. All right, I don't need a ton of that because it's very bold orange and that's a little off. So then I'm gonna grab probably that mocha. And let's get that on there. And this one's darker, so it's gonna go, actually it needs to be re-inked, so I apologize. And I can see where I could probably use some more of the Charming Chartreuse in here, which does not hurt my feelings at all because I really love that color. Okay, so I think I will grab that last and hope that I've cleaned my stamp off enough that I don't transfer. Okay. There's mostly this color in this layout. So I think I'm gonna let it be. I think it'll be good. I lied, I'm gonna do one more. Okay, so there's that. Okay, let's see how this looks. Awesome, that's great. Thank you, Kim. Love you back. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, and I want to be on Lindsay's too. That's part of why I'm hurrying, because I want to be there to support her. So this is where we're going to be, right? So we're going to have the patterned paper that we made. We're going to have our border. This is going to come under this. I'm probably going to end up cutting that down just a hair. We'll see. I don't want it to extend completely. Then I'll have my photos, which are kind of tight in there at the moment. Look at that, that looks really cool with the leaves. I like that. And they're going to be a little cattywampus. That's okay, that's kind of how I wanted them to be so that they can all be on there. Me and Kim. And then we'll fill in with the owl and me and Kim. And we'll have a moose and a beaver in there and a sentiment. And that will be that layout. So I'm going to finish all of these, I promise, and I will post them. We'll have some journaling down here at the bottom. I might shift this down a little bit. So that's the last one. Yeah, definitely fall vibes. All right, y'all, pop on over to Lindsay's. I'll finish mine. Thank you so much for playing with me. I apologize. It was a bit chaotic, but you know what? It's all about the creative fun process, and you got to see these adorable stamps in action in so many ways. So thank you so much, and happy rest of your weekend. I'll share more later. Bye.